we've got Carnage Gaming going against Marz. Now, these two rosters went head-to-head last week. It was a close series, ended up going to game number 3. Actually, I say close series, albeit there was one map that ended up 5-0, if I'm not mistaken. I'll go back in my notes. I know I got it written down here. But other than that, it was that was Harbor. Harbor ended up 5-0 for Marz. We'll see if that's in the rotation here. But Colin, let's take a look at Carnage, man. Let's take a look and see what this roster is all about, because you got 4 talented members. You've got Cristalize, BGod, Autens, and Solars. They joined a little bit late in the Challenger standings, or Challenger series, I should say. I believe last week was their first week, but now they're coming in even stronger, and they're looking to make good on their performance from last week. Semifinals, they want to be in grand finals this week.
All right, look, when I call you out, it's out of respect, it's out of love. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I need Autens to step up. I have seen him play at very high levels. I have seen the kind of caliber of player he is. Last week, he was basically a crutch for this team. Autens was always out on an island by himself. He kept finding himself in 1v whatevers. He kept dying, kept putting his team in 3v4s, 3v2s, whatever it might be. And I need to see Autens this week step up to the plate and be a better teammate for BGod, Cristalize, and Solars. I know how good all 4 of those guys are, but I'm calling Autens out because I want to see the best for him.
You know, Autens, like you said, talented player, but we do need to see a little bit more. And I think that comes to show, right, in this 4v4 format, right? We're always wanting to see a little bit more from certain individuals. And the reason why is because you have one weak link in the chain. That chain is going to snap, and you don't want to ever be that weak link. For Marz, though, I'm struggling to find a weak link. I'm going to be absolutely honest. And with the addition of Coach Jippery McLeod, #GetJipped, man, it just made him that much stronger. He's a passionate individual. He's passionate about gears. He's been around for so long. I don't know how long he's been around, but I just know that he's just like, has he been around longer than you? I don't know.
We're both A1s from day one. Jip and I both go way back in the Maybach. I'm telling you right now, he's an OG of the OGs, baby. He knows rotations, Lancer lanes. He knows how to play the game at such a fundamentally golden level that he's going to bring that next level of understanding, that next level of rotation to the squad. They were already really good, but you saw sometimes last week, especially when they lost that 5-0 on Harbor, there were times where they'd lose an initial and it was like they couldn't get themselves back situated, back to a 4v4, and then know how to rotate around the map. I guarantee you right now, with Jip at the helm, with him being able to review that kind of footage, he is going to be able to tell these guys, when we come back off a respawn, this is where we throw our smokes, this is where we throw our flashes, let's get back into the fight, let's get a kill here and move there.
All right, well, we'll see if it definitely improved. It'd be scary, Colin, if they improved from last week, because last week they were just looking lights out. Like I said, Carnage Gaming was their closest series. I want to look at our pick and bans, though. I've got a lot to talk about when it comes to the map. So we got Asylum, Harbor, and Training Grounds. That's a scary map number 2. Again, Marz beat Carnage Gaming 5-0 on Harbor last week, and once again, they let it through. That tells me, for Carnage Gaming, they are not comfortable with Foundation, with that being their first ban. If I were looking at this series, I'm saying, man, I do not want to go against that roster on Harbor once again, but it seems as if, again, maybe Foundation isn't their map, and that gives me a lot of worries for Carnage Gaming. But for Asylum, though, it's going to be fun to watch them play on this map. I haven't watched Carnage Gaming play Asylum as of yet, and for Training Grounds, same thing. I don't know how well they're versed on that map itself, but you're looking at this series. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking this sets up good for Marz. Look, I know the players on that squad, and I love the fact that you see Carnage actually took away some of those power positions that we've seen Marz use in the previous couple of weeks. I mean, you know how good historically guys like Abolics have been on a map like Vaskar. So taking Abolics and Rocky away from a map like Vaskar, they said, look, if we get to a map 3, let's not give them another map they're comfortable with. So they did do some homework. They do know what they're going up against. I think they understand the task at hand, but at the end of the day, you're still going to have to see them in fights that I'm pretty sure they are very comfortable in. That second half E-Hill fight on Asylum, that doesn't necessarily set up perfect for Marz, but I think it might even favor them because I think they're just a little more aggressive than this Carnage Gaming's roster is at that E fight and with those CQC fights.
Look, Asylum, map number 1, Carnage Gaming said that's the one we're going to start off with. Again, I'm not sure how well-versed Carnage Gaming is on Asylum. I just don't have enough evidence before me. But I can say this. Once again, Marz played in Grand Finals last week against Rated R, who ended up losing 5-1 on that very map. I don't know how much that's saying after that 5-0 loss just a little bit earlier, but what I can say though, Marz clearly had it put together on Asylum, which means Carnage Gaming could have their hands full. And once again, you're looking at a barrel of a loaded gun. You're going into Harbor in map number 2. Carnage Gaming might struggle here, but you mentioned those close quarter fights. Both teams should be very comfortable with those engagements, making the second half of Asylum that much more deadlier. But it's just going to be tough. By the way, we didn't point out Zoom. Zoom, the recent addition replacing Lanarchy, man. Zoom played so great last week, playing that utilitarian role, the support role, if you will, however way you want to put it. He played out of his mind. I was very impressed from him. I ended up tweeting actually after they ended up winning last week, and I said, man, you played well, you replaced Lanarchy, you really fit that role. And he said, look, I got big shoes to fill, right? And he understands that Lanarchy is a tough member to follow up after Colin, but he did such a good job last week that I really thought it was a mistake dropping Lanarchy, but it seems to be one of the best moves Marz could have made.
Well, look, Zoom has the right mentality. If he responded in that sense or that fashion to you where he said, look, I know I got big shoes to fill, that's the right mentality to have. It shows that he's staying humble. It shows that he understands the task at hand, and he knows to play week to week like everything is on the line for him because he is the new addition to the team. If anything goes wrong, if they start failing, if they start losing, eyes are going to go right back onto Zoom and try to figure out why they dropped Lanarchy in the first place. So good job for him to have that kind of mindset coming into this second week. You see already the mounted up 1-1-2 here on the map of Asylum. That's still that 2v2 down to the train tracks. I'll be curious to see if we see either team try to use that same strategy where you try to over-rotate toward that mid lane or even up top. The flashes come out early, and it looks like Carnage is going to go for a quick overextension here at the B hill. They're set up on both Lancer lanes, and Cristalize, he can't push up to get that extra 90 degree. He'd have to put himself in a very sticky situation to try to get that 90 degree on Rocky there.
Player 5 wants to get in BGod, but as you said, right, those angles, you got to make sure you're locking those in play. And now for the fight, man, it's going to be well done. Dakota looking to go huge in that moment. Dakota's going to be AKA Abolics out there, but Rocky will have the final say, and he's going to go in and lock in Bravo. Meanwhile, the rest of Marz are going to go in and rotate over, maybe for the overextension, but I do see player 3 and 4, Morality and Zoom, they're going to go in and stay put. They got what they needed, right? They won the tracks fight. Now they can just set up defensively, count numbers, and see where CG's going to go next.
See Rocky here. Dakota gets the quick revive off. They're going to get shots onto Autens, and he's playing with Cristalize pretty perfectly. They got a second down there on Dakota. One more, and he goes down and out. They do get the kill. The down comes back through. Dakota has to be careful not to die here. He's going to pick up one. Double bounce out. Gets the second. Beautiful job. You see Zoom pulling back. He's got the flash out. Solar is going to push across the top of this hill. He's going to go for the home-to-home push along with a teammate, but a two-shot down from Zoom. Finds himself one. The help from Rocky off spawn. Finds a second. Big and beautiful job by Zoom and Rocky to fend off that push and give them a very healthy lead in round number 1.
Now Carnage Gaming, they're going into damage control. They're having to just knock them back. Rocky, though, looked like he was going to back off, but ends up taking out Autens. Now BGod has no idea, gets blindsided, and he's going to get taken down, and Rocky's already picked back up. Well done from his teammates to be behind. That was Abolics from behind, picking him up, and there are the final eliminations. Rocky's going to go ahead and clean up Cristalize. Utilities thrown out, and Autens can't get through. There's no way. Marz, they'll take round number 1, and I gotta say, they played that round to a T. Off the start, they won the tracks fight. They ended up overextending. They put the pressure where was necessary on Carnage Gaming. They counted numbers and then struck whenever the iron was hot. Very well done from the boys on Marz.
I don't know if I can go as far to say that they played it perfectly to a T. I think it all stems back to Dakota. If Abolics does not get that 2-piece and a biscuit down on train tracks where he loses that 2v1, that gives up the B hill. Now you don't have to push up. You don't have to fly across entrance to try to just stay alive in the round and apply pressure back against your enemies. They can set up with a 2-to-1 hill cap. Abolics wins 1-2v1, opposite side of the map, Zune, and then Rocky with the respawn come off and kill 2 more members. They had a great retake, and I think it comes down that they had a better defensive stand after a very clutch play from Abolics.
Rocky Boltok in hand, looking to just keep Carnage Gaming's heads down. Cristalize knows this, and he's trying to dodge those bullets like dodgeball, but Cristalize has his own Boltok, will connect onto Dakota, and utilities thrown out, and that's going to give Looks like Abolics time to go ahead and dip away. But meanwhile, though, Rocky doing great things. He's going to get the knock on one. Cristalize gets to pick up on the BGod, and now Dakota is going to be isolated in this moment. He's going to drop off. So Carnage Gaming wins the Trax fight. Well done from them. And now they got to worry about these two players on the streets. Carnage Gaming, though, they are looking hungry. And it looked as if they wanted to push Morality and zoom back and maybe go for the OE, but I like the fact that they're staying put, keeping the pressure on, but not doing too much. BGod on the flank, though, will surprise a couple. Zoom turn around. Here's the shot, but he doesn't get the finish. But either way, the job was done. BGod's going to get picked up, and it looks like the domination's coming in very shortly.
Abolics has got one more shot at this. He goes down. He's going to get taken out. BGod's going to be able to bleed him out for the rest of his life there on the ground. They're going to double cap this final hill, and they get the triple cap domination. And I'm going to go ahead and call it right there. I know he came away with that kill, but that could have gotten very ugly very quickly had Zoom turned and burned. I mean, he got that first shot was a couple of pellets, and it almost looked like he got tickled for a second there at the entrance because he bounced out of there real quick like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, like who kicked, like a little brother kicking the bigger brother, man? Like, what just happened, man? What was that? You know, a little bit of a mosquito bite. BGod, you got to make sure you finish those kills, especially if you're on the flank. Don't turn around too early. But hey, they do walk away with the victory, so no harm, no foul, I guess. Talons and Botox are on the map once again, and it seems as if it's going to be a more competitive map than I was expecting from round one, but I like to count my chickens before they hatch. You already know this, right? I get a little bit carried away sometimes after one round, and that's before I see the bigger picture. But Trax fight looks like it's going to be underway. Abolics taking that advanced position. It's been back and forth here. Cristalize that Botox, though, last round. He was connecting, so if I'm Abolics, I'm keeping that in the back of my head.
Cristalize is going to shoot across toward Abolics. Not going to be able to find anything. Rocky's going to get pushed up on, but look at the way he just peeks the corner. Gets a full spread on a BGod and pulls him back a little bit further. There's the flashes out. Double flashes, as a matter of fact, so nobody can make their coordinated push. Rocky is going to put himself at the bottom of the train tracks. Tries to get a second shot on the BGod's. Not going to be able to get that one. They spawn up here, 2v2, still at the train tracks. Nobody has made a mistake in this round, and nobody wants to be the first team to make a mistake. Cristalize is still just stacked up. 5 more shots in the Boltok, and one of the things that, for those of you not in the know, the reason you see Cristalize always trying to go for that active is once you hit the active with that Boltok, shoots a little faster, the recoil's a little less, and if you hit that headshot, it's a 2-shot headshot gun at that point.
Flash grenade out.
So Carnage Gaming, they're counting numbers. I think they know player 3 is going to be isolated. I'm curious if they kind of challenge him for the OE to keep that 2-to-1 hill advantage, but Carnage Gaming, it's going to be a tough fight, and it's going to be made even tougher as player 6 falls. Trade will be there, and Autens will be on the OE, just as I expected. Again, they knew player 3 was going to be by himself, Morality. But Marz has put themselves in a good spot to maybe push Carnage Gaming back to their spawn. If they can hold on to this, they could be in good positioning, but looks like they're going to go ahead and back off. Again, they get the 2-to-1 hill advantage. Point lead is still very close. There's only a narrow margin between the two, so no reason to overcommit and pull another rated R situation from earlier, right? So just back off, count your numbers once again. Now, Carnage Gaming, they're coming in hot, and it is going to be a 3v3 for Bravo. I'm curious who comes out ahead because Carnage Gaming has been doing a great job on the retakes, and BGod once again being sneaky, coming through, taking Rocky off guard.
What they're doing is trying to put pressure in very weird spots. It's almost like they're trying to see if Marz is ready for these retakes, ready for where the fight's going to be coming from. But Marz has just got the answer right now. Flashes in the hand there of Morality. He's just going to wait for anybody to try to push up. They don't have the meat shield to go for that insta stun with the snub, but they don't even need it. They get it to click on through before they even have a chance to get back in the hill. That's a 2-1 round count in favor of Marz. Just a brilliant job. I mean, the way that they're able to turn some bad situations on their head and come out with a victory or come out with at least even 1 kill has just been absolutely picture perfect.
Yeah, Zoom's been playing well. He's 5-3, 1 death to his name. And, you know, that stat line 5-3, right? You might be thinking it's not really that special, but he's picking up critical kills in critical moments. You know, you go back to round 1. There was a moment I think he picked up a big kill in Gallery and that led for the overextension to admin. In that last round, he picks up, I believe, 2 players in the spawn of CG, which secured the domination a little bit easier than it would have, of course, if those 2 players from CG were still up and alive. So well done from him. Keep your eye out. Again, he's a great addition to this Marz roster. Carnage Gaming won on this side before, and that's going to be a much better start again as BGod comes through, gets 1 chunk, gets to knock on the other. Cristalize will get the pickup, and Marz now looks like they might be going for the OE Morality. He's going to drop off, though. That is so unfortunate. Zoom now is by himself, and player 5 is going to be on the flank. That's BGod once again. Zoom will drop this time. BGod will finally get that extra chip damage along with Autens and Solar. And this round might be over very quickly, and yes, it will be. I don't know what it is about that side, but Carnage Gaming, they favor it. So does Marz, and they end up coming out ahead every single time.
And that has been a fantastic round back into the face of Marz, and 2-2 tied up. Going into this second half now, and one of the things that I can't say enough is the answers for Carnage Gaming have been there. They have figured out a little bit of how to play Marz a little bit better. Going into that second map, going into Harbor, they know they have to have a 1-0 map count in their favor. They can't go to Harbor down a map. They can't go into Harbor feeling they've got to win it because it's just going to make it even uglier. On the side of Marz, though, I think one of the things that we've seen them be able to do or play better is when they have had the ability to slow things down and put the pressure onto the side of Carnage Gaming. They've got to make them play into their hands, and they've got to figure out a way to slow it back down. This second half, though, it is going to be slowed down naturally because of where that E-hill is.
And the shocks, too, right? A well-placed shock will stop a team in their tracks for pushing up onto E. Now it's all about baiting that first shock out. Who's going to be the first one to use it? Abolics might push in. I think he is. He actually looks like he is trying to maybe bait out that shock, but Carnage Gaming, they're not taking the bait. They're not wanting to bite just yet. BGod's utility in hand. He might push straight into Abolics and Morality, maybe take down Abolics in that forward position. That would be hugely beneficial for Rocky, though. He's going to be in the back, still waiting for that shock. As Abolics falls, I think Rocky might throw the shock at this point. There's, oh, no, that's going to be Carnage Gaming. That's going to back them up. And CG might get a free kill without the shock even being utilized. And yeah, Rocky holds it. He's going for, I think he's holding it for the retake.
Yeah, Rocky's going to hold it. He's going to make sure that they have a good chance here to retake. What they're going to do is wait for Abolics to get back into position, and then they're probably going to throw it long and try to just single out that player inside the entrance. And what you got to do is throw it onto Solar. There's the shock. It's going to move Solar out of position into the middle. They don't have the angle to fight him, though. He had a perfect counter for it by just moving up into that next lane. It puts all the pressure. The up A for Morality gets one, bouncing around. They get the second one, though, on Abolics. Is hard work. And now they're going to have the pressure on a Cristalize. 3 up, 3 down. And Marz is off to the races. They're flying at F-Hill already. Autens might try to take a fight at the train tracks, but
oh no,
the conductor might have some words.
He's gone. Yeah.
Oh,
Train cam coming back, ladies and gentlemen. I know it said Zoom picked up that kill, but we know who really got it. It was that train conductor, and Ev should be locked in very shortly for the team of Marz. Well done for Morality, pushing that entrance position as aggressively as he did, getting that first kill and Abolics following up. Well done. I thought holding on, or I thought that push from Morality was a bit reckless, but with the stun that came through, it ended up being timed perfectly to get the first chunk. He ended up getting stunned right after that, but then of course Abolics wasn't stunned. He pushes in, gets that second at entrance, and then it was kind of clockwork at that point. Bullied the last remaining player who was on the outside of admin. So good communication, good teamwork. I like the fact that they did give up B. I thought it was a bit of a risky play. I was thinking maybe they were looking weak, but they were just timing it out. And like you said, they like those rounds that kind of extend a little bit longer. They like thinking through what they're going to do, and that's exactly what they did.
We come to round number 6. Gonna have another 3v3 up top. Both teams with retros and shocks now to their hand. Right-hand advantage will go over to the side of Marz, though. Flash is out. They're going to see Dakota move up. Abolics and try to get in the area. There's the shock. Beautiful job by Cristalize. It might find one. Morality, though, is going to find 2. Morality trying to find 3. But the only thing wrong with his morals was that he got a little greedy, and sometimes greed lead to dirty deeds, and those dirty deeds lead to death.
Ooh, well, very well said. I thought you're going dirty deeds with the AC/DC reference, man, but you're just coming in with the proverbs. Straight fortune cookies out here, ladies and gentlemen. Carnage looking to push him back. Rocky got a little bit aggressive. Good shock, though, will keep them in their tracks. And Rocky knows he's not going to get any downs, get any kills with the Lancer. He's just going to be annoying. But any down that he does get right is going to be beneficial for keeping Carnage at bay. Smoke is out. Rocky, he's not backing down. He's going to stay at the forefront. He's going to hit a nice brick onto one. Now he's going to let Morality and co. try and finish off the other couple of players from Carnage Gaming. Now the question is, do we see another push for Morality in entrance? No, not just. Well, actually, yeah, here it comes. The utility is going to be thrown out. That Lancer fire is beneficial, though. Solar is going to pick up one. He's now finally going to drop. Abolics is going to get there. Excuse me. Dakota's going to get that finish. 2v2 now. BGod getting Lancered out. Cristalize trying to protect BGod as much as possible. Meanwhile, on track style, no, you have that 1v1. Those players are getting close to each other. That was 8 and 4. It looks like they're going to go and back off.
Well,
that was an exciting
Look,
battle there.
You see how everybody kind of stacked up, and now nobody can make a move until their player comes off a respawn and brings an extra flash into the fight. They know how strong and how good the Lancer Fire has been for both teams, so everybody had to stack up, but the quick rotation from Marz gets them the flash into the fight, the downs and damage. Auten's down once again. The conductor might have something to say about it if it's coming anytime soon. I'm not sure. They get the triple cap domination before the conductor has his say. So look, you could already hear him coming from a mile away. He was looking for tickets, and I don't think Autens had one at that point.
I don't think he did. He definitely didn't have one in that first one, did he not? Tough.
Wait a minute.
Break.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
What?
Take a look at that score. I need that scoreboard for a second because we know incendiaries are coming out. Zoom has only talk about playing your life for your team.
I'm telling you.
Do you know how underrated that is? That Zoom is literally, he might only have 6 kills and 9 assists. He might be right on the cusp of 10 assists. But just imagine how helpful that is, that when you're in a fight, you can trust that your teammate is not throwing his life away to try to either get pressure on the opposite side of the map. You know that he's covering his lane still. And we didn't see double incendiaries. We saw a long shot placed by Carnage.
Carnage wants it. They want the smoke, and they're going to get all of it. Let's find out how it works out for them. That lone shot could be beneficial. Obviously, pop some heads off for Solar. He wants it early on. Nobody's really challenged, but see this thing, morality's up top. Marz was able to get that neutral, and Solar will get the lone shot, but if he doesn't connect, he won't find any value. So he'll go ahead and back off with the rest of his teammates. They'll Lancer out to protect him for a little bit. And Carnage Gaming, they may be down a little bit here in that 2-1, but again, Solar with that lone shot has the potential to really open up streets and allow Carnage Gaming to take control of this hill. And they can get control to start off with. It's going to be very difficult for Marz to push in. Theoretically, I say again, Solar has to connect on his shots. Now with BGod getting that fresh shot, it's only a matter of time before Carnage Gaming pushes in.
Beautiful body shot there to help try to get that down. You see Autens, he's going to get that meat shield and finish it off. Solar's is looking for that little bit of head to pop out so he can be able to pop that head off. And they have control over E-Hill right now. They're going to have to come back. But oh my God, Zoom, why? Why Zoom?
Because we were talking about his consistency.
Oh no! Solar! Give me a third. Bring me third face for
Oh, he wanted to. When he saw that player dropping, I know he was just on the trigger. He was ready to pull it down. Cristalize takes down morality. And I think we're going to have Carnage Gaming going and sending it to a round number 8. But Rocky has something to say about it. He picks off one, backs up. He should be taken down here just shortly. Ooh, go over cover, trying to take down BGod, but he gave enough time for Marz to get back into it. Just got to get through that meat shield, and it looks like they're going into the blender. 3 down, Zoom last up here. And those stats were looking good before, but maybe not so much now. Carnage Gaming will take round number 7 to send it to a round 8. Well done. Good teamwork. And again, Solar. Man, he played such a big impact there, Colin, with the snipe, the long shot, man. Well done from him. He got value where he needed it most. He's 13-6, 9 deaths. He's leading the charge. Again, well done from Solar.
Beautiful job, Solar. That body shot followed by the 2 headshots, I don't want to say solidifies the round, but he definitely laid some concrete. My man was putting the pathway to heaven down for his team. They come away with that round victory. The disable comes out. They're going to lock up the incendiary of Carnage. I like that play. You see Carnage has to now upgrade to the incendiary from the retro, and now they have a chance to just take it away from him. So this should make things a little bit more interesting. I'll be curious to see if Marz decides to challenge that snipe in the beginning.
Ooh, Dakota falls, BGod as well. Both should get picked up. Ensign's going to be missed. Cristalize, though, will get the chunk onto one. Rocky gets the finish, and he's trying to get... Oh, nice shots. Carnage Gaming is starting to unfurl as a long shot goes into the hands of Rocky. Morality keeping Solar at bay. And that hill should be locked in unless Solar can get the pickup. He cannot. So well done for Morality fighting that fight. Now we're looking at a potential domination. The 3 players from CG are moving in. Rocky's going to be at the forefront. Wow, he had that round to a T. He knew, man, look, I don't even have to shoot a shot. You're not going to get the touch. 40 seconds, 5-3. And a much-needed round from Carnage Gaming not going to go their way. They're now down 1-0 in the series. Colin, heading into Harbor, a map they lost 5-0 to this very team last week.
Going to be tough sledding. Everybody from Carnage Gaming almost hitting double-digit deaths. It seems like they couldn't find their footing on any particular round, and I do not know if they are going to be able to find their footing in map number 2, because, I mean, every time they started to find a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, it seemed like somebody threw up a hashtag somewhere in the universe, and it simply said, "Get gypped."
Oh, you did. You did say you were going to come through with the get gypped all night. Hey, and I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of Marz, man. Again, they're just a roster that looks miles ahead of the competition. Carnage Gaming, though, the fact that they continue to keep this series as close as they do, hats off to them. It is unfortunate that they have to meet them in semifinals, right? In back-to-back weeks. Hopefully in week 3, they find themselves on the top of that bracket, maybe against another roster. But with that being said, look, the chips fell as they did, and you just gotta play the cards what you have dealt. But I gotta say, BGod, you know, he played well. This shot, I can't believe we're showing this replay, man. No. He hits like 4 pellets, comes back like, wait, you're not dead yet? But still, Carnage Gaming wins that round. But little mistakes like that need to be cleaned up, man. Challenger series, you can kind of get away with it, but go to Pro League, man. That could have been catastrophic.
You gonna hit powers with 4 pellets and not pay for it? That's all I can say. You think for a second you gonna hit powers with 4 pellets and not pay for it. I'm telling you, that man would come to collect like he was the IRS if you hit him with 4 pellets. You better believe, baby.
Well, Carnage Gaming had a lot of good things, though. You know, you did say, look, there was no rounds where they kind of got it together. There were a couple of rounds where they were like, all right, they're looking solid. But it's only when their initial went very well. Again, Solo just played so well with this night, by the way. Hats off to him for hitting those shots. Those were not easy shots to hit by any means. But, yeah, the rounds that went well for CG were the rounds where they won the initial. If they didn't win the initial, they didn't win the round, like bottom line, period, right? There are some teams that are great or use that kind of energy, if you will, right? Fire and Ice is one of them. Pittsburgh Knights even became one of those teams, you know, in the last week when they were winning the initials. If the round extended on, maybe they find themselves in a bit of trouble. You mentioned that actually, and wisely put, Colin, that Marz likes rounds that extend a little bit more, where they can use, you know, kind of more teamwork setups and communication. So if CG going into Harbor, if they can have a little bit better initials off the start, they can put up a fighting chance versus Marz. But if that round continues to extend on, they're going to be in trouble.
They're going to be in trouble, and especially on a map like Harbor because of how big it is and how wide it is. Yes, the home hills in first and second half are right there outside of the spawn. Basically, you can still have, I want to say, about a second left or a half a second left as you up-A the corner into the first half. You run out of it as you come around the corner in the second half, but you're basically right there on top of it to be able to fight for it. But the map itself is just such a massive map in general, and there's so many Lancer lanes that it lends itself to Marz's play style. It's harder to hold your defensive stands when they can overload one side of the map or the other and allow them to win a retake or win a fight somewhere and put pressure on you down a 90-degree Lancer lane or cross you out, X you out somewhere else on the map. It is a beautiful map. It's very well made. It's just a very hard one to defend on with how big it is. So Carnage Gaming is going to have to win initials and then pressure not into the home hill. Sometimes you might not be able to go over that triple cap, but basically try to put the clamps on. You want to almost be waiting outside the door on the front porch in one of the rocking chairs trying to make sure he ain't sneaking out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm picking up what you're throwing on, absolutely. Do you think, though, maybe isolating a fight with the long shot or torque bow is also a play Carnage Gaming can make? They won the first round with the long shot in Pavilion. Second round, they didn't. So is that even a viable option?
It's a coin toss, and I don't want to see it come down to a coin toss for Carnage Gaming. I want to see them find a definitive way to continue to win rounds after rounds, because what you saw a lot of the times is when they got into those early CQC fights and were able to get up close and personal with Marz, one round they win it, the next round they lose it, the next round they win it, and it was very back and forth. Yeah, it's 5-3, but that just means that all Marz had to do was win 2 back-to-back rounds. That means they got 2 coin flips to come up heads against their tails, and it's one of the things that I think cannot be stated enough. If you want to continuously win, if you want to have consistency, you cannot rely on those kind of coin flip battles, those shotgun battles. You've got to find a Lancer here. You've got to find Damager down there and be able to rotate around the map and help your teammates. So when you put yourself in that situation where it's, all right, who can throw the better flash, who can fly, and who can get the easy chunk, That is not a dependable strategy. Not now, not ever.
You know, one of the things, though, whether it be Carnage Gaming versus Marz, or let's say Carnage Gaming does beat Marz, moves into grand finals, they're going against solid teamwork from both rosters. That solid teamwork is something they're struggling against, and I'm going to keep the same narrative that I had last week into this week. Teamwork needs to improve. Getting those trades needs to be there. Overall, late game needs to be there. That comes down to your IGL making those shot calls, making those plays. And I think the overall team becoming a little bit more comfortable with what's taking place. There were times where they were coming together. Again, BGod going on those flanks. All memes aside, I know he's missing those shots. You know, he missed that first shot onto Zoom. But regardless, though, he was making those plays, and it seemed as if Carnage Gaming was complementing that by continually pushing forward and keeping those players distracted, or at least putting them into that vice grip as it got tighter and tighter to allow BGod to come on the flank. So we are seeing bits and pieces of great teamwork overall, but we need to see a little bit more, maybe some more Lancer Fire coming out, like you mentioned for Zoom, right? Playing that utilitarian role. He did that so very well. Carnage Gaming needs a player like that. You mentioned Autens. That was the guy you're putting the magnifying glass on. I didn't see a lot from him on Asylum. I'm going to be honest with you. I was talking a lot about Cristalize, right? I was talking a lot about maybe BGod Solar popping up, but Autens was pretty silent.
He also was playing the 1v1 spot, but if you notice, he wasn't challenging the 1v1. It was almost like he was sitting back and waiting to hear whether or not his team won or lost the team fight on the other side of the map. You've got to, if you're going to play that 1v1, you've got to almost mirror yourself after summons. One of the things that you'll see summons do in the Pro League for the Pittsburgh Knights is if they start to lose the other side of the map, they start to lose a fight somewhere else, summons has almost like a third eye. He knows to pressure up on his opponent. He knows to start trying to make that fight more difficult so that he can possibly win it rather than getting double, even maybe triple Lancered out and being a non-factor. And already the Lancer Fire from Carnage Gaming get a double down. The quick revives come out. Cristalize now, though, finds himself in a 1v1 against Morality. Morality loses it now, and the winch has gone over to Carnage Gaming.
So they get the winch, but they don't get the neutral. You mentioned those 1v1s taking place, and well, 1v1 did go down, and it looks like player 8 got the better end of the bargain. Zoom was able to win his fight, and you have to assume that was against Autens in that 1v1. So again, he's going to be a key factor as to whether or not that 2-to-1 hill advantage goes to CG if they win that winch fight, but it looks like player 8 is respectfully going to give it over to player number 2, at least for the time being, to allow Marz to maybe push over onto winch. BGod's going to be down low. He's going to be able to Lancer out onto Zoom. It looks like their first strategy is just to go ahead and isolate him, try and take them down if they possibly can. But you got to watch out. Marz is pushing up, and Dakota is going to be at the forefront. Cristalize is going to fall. BGod's now going to be isolated. He's going to drop as well, and BGod was so focused on Zoom that he didn't assist his team up top with the Lancer Fire that could have put Marz within chunk range.
Icy Solar, he's going to get Lancered out from a couple of different areas. Abolics is just going to continue to back up and put damage into him. The flash comes out. It's not enough to get the stun. Icy Abolics trying to bounce around and stay alive against Cristalize. BGod's going to find a second. This is treading very dangerous waters. It's not even to the 200-point threshold, so you can't really... Oh my God. Rocky out here playing that brand new Queen Reina skin, ruling over that corner. He said, I dare you to slide into this corner, and he got his wish. Got his wish and got a chunk.
And you can see how comfortable he is. How comfortable not only, you know, Rocky is, but Zoom as well in taking these fights, sticking it, getting the team pickups. Carnage Gaming, a lot of flash and dash, but again, I need to see a little bit more. They're going to push this hill hard. They have no choice. If they get shut down here, pretty much wrap it up. They're not going to have another go at it, or at least a comfortable one at that. Rocky, though, is going to hit that first brick onto Solar. Lancer Fire is going to be there to knock down BGod. Both players will fall. Now you got two more being Lancered out, snubbed out. Take your pick and what's going down. Cristalize also gone. Autens, big spot. Can't do it. And again, that was the final attempt Carnage Gaming was going to have. Marz will take round number 1 in a pretty convincing fashion. Again, they lose the winch fight, Colin, but they won the neutral. Autens could not win that 1v1 over there, you know, against Zoom. Zoom ends up giving it up, but hey, he wasted enough time for, of course, the team to push back in. And BGod lancering Zoom instead of lancering up top on Stern, for me, that was a mistake.
It's definitely a mistake, but it's a mistake that can be cleaned up. That's one of the things that at the time you're in the heat of battle, you're not sure if you're supposed to take the fight that's 5 feet in front of you or if you can rotate and help a teammate. He needs to be a little bit better and a little bit quicker in that decision-making category. I think that's a very easy mistake to clean back up. The problem is, the thing that's worrying is this makes it 6 rounds in a row on Harbor for Marz over Carnage Gaming. Yeah,
exactly.
That's the worrying stat to me, is they don't have an answer yet.
Good start for Abolics. Autens, he's going to bleed out, now finished off. Player 7's about to have company with player 3. I think he knows this. He can go and throw out that utility. Cristalize will answer of his own. Gets that Lancer Fire in. Not only was Rocky lancering him out, you also had another player up top who was getting that Lancer Fire in. Now Marz is going to continue that pressure forward. They're going to go ahead and commit. Morality's going to be up close with BGod, who's going to push him back. Marz can pull back off of this fight, but it looks as if they're going to be fully committed. BGod's going to get that kill onto Abolics. A bit messy of a fight, but it seems as if Marz might come out ahead here. Morality hits a beautiful shot onto Solar to take him down. Cristalize now is going to be in that 1v1 versus Zoom. Bit of a misroll, and he will fall. Again, a messy fight, but Marz, in all that chaos, was able to retake control, keep that pressure up, and in a minute flat, take a 2-0 lead. Like you said 6-0 before, now 7-0 here on Harbor. It is a concerning stat.
This is just one of the things where I'm trying to find the nicest way to say this. If you've already gotten 5-0'd, I don't know why you let the map in the rotation the next week. I don't care how much you've played it. You probably have not gotten the chance to scrim Marz on it. You're probably not going to want it to be in your scrim block based on that, because if you come to start finding out what you're doing wrong and start to correct it, you don't want to give them the intel. But now you've lost 7 straight rounds. Now it's no longer the map's issue. This is a talent fight. I think is the fight I want to go with. Go ahead and throw up that scoreboard so we can hear what you got to say about Zoom and Rocky.
Well, he hasn't died.
Yep.
He hasn't. And again, what is his position, Colin? He's in that 1v1 versus Autens down low for Bravo nonstop. That just comes to show you Autens is not winning that fight at all. At least for the past 2 rounds, he has not won that fight whatsoever. Zoom at this point is almost allowed.
Rocky ain't dead either.
And Rocky isn't either.
Oh, no.
And Rocky's showing the love. He's showing the love all the way. But he can do so. Autens will fall once again. Solar will be taken down by Zoom. And I want to go back to what you were saying before, as this round is kind of playing out as it kind of has in the previous 2 rounds. Marz just taking control. You know, Carnage Gaming, again, going with the map they're not comfortable on of Harbor. But what does that say about Foundation? That was their ban. How bad are they on Foundation if they're choosing to once again play Harbor, a map that they know very well? They lost 5-1 just a week previously. That's my concern. So now not only is Carnage Gaming struggling at Harbor, how bad are they on Foundation?
I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to worry about it. I want to worry about what Marz has got. I mean, this is... And you can see here, they're already down by 20 points, and Rocky still has not died. They're sending 2-3 people after him. He's got it down. There's a back A. A second bounce almost netted him a second down and a double kill right there all by himself. Now Morality finds himself in a 3v1. He's going to push up, but look at the way the over-rotation from Marz is already there. They had that third eye I was talking about where they were able to feel that they were losing the winch in the stern fight. They pushed up almost immediately. They get a break at the C hill, so now it's going to be 175 to 105 before they even get a chance to break either the B or the A hill. There it is. They're finally going to get a break on the B hill, but they're going to be so far down in this, they're going to have to make it to the A hill. There's no way the 2-1 hill setup wins them this round come hell or high water. I don't think it's going to switch over even after they capture it. Nope.
No, will not. You're 100% right on that. Now, I believe it's still a narrow lead. If they can get the decap on A, they'll be okay. But I mean, already you can see Marz retaking Bravo. And even those little decaps, even if they don't get the full cap, right, just keeping Carnage that much more behind, forcing them absolutely to go over towards A, which, by the way, they are applying that pressure. This could be a Carnage Gaming round if they play their cards right. Abolics has to pick up a couple of eliminations along with his teammate down low, but it's not happening. Trade will be there. That's best case scenario. Abolics now versus BGod. He's going to push through that flash, misses the second shot, but connects on the third. Cristalize now is going to be lancered out. That's going to put him within chunk range. Matter of fact, Abolics is going to go in for the cleanup. Team pickup is going to be there, but not too soon enough. To Solar, he's not going to be there in time. And Marz will retake control of their home hill. 20 seconds. That's a lot of map to cover, and you're going against 4 members of Marz who is using offense to their best defense, and they are pushing in to Bravo. Marz, they're going to be 3-0 up.
Oh, without a doubt. There's the cleanup. There's the break on the B hill just for good measure. 250 to 229 or so before this round is over with. Oh my goodness, that's 3 minutes long. That's 8 rounds in a row. That was their best shot to win a round, and it came off the backs of back-to-back 2 versus 2 wins by Carnage Gaming. They won 2 different fights on the map to just put Marz on the back foot. But even after getting the 2-1 hill advantage, they had to wait for their fourth player to come off a respawn, recap their home hill, and then before they could really get into position, Marz said, let's get another decap at B, puts them a little bit further behind, puts them a little bit further out of the wind condition, so now they have to fly at A, they have to get a decap at A, because they have to stay in the hill to get that decap, which allows them to get the pure Lancer on and get the shot on and down. This is just... That's that next, I mean, you've been quoting the man Blaze for weeks. There's levels to this. That's the next level thought. That's that next step. That's chess, not checkers.
Dakota's now going to be in a difficult spot. Morality ended up losing his life early on. I like this bait and switch, though, from Cristalize and Autens. Or, excuse me, Autens on the other side, actually, will take over Bravo. Solar will drop down as Zoom will retake control of Bravo. I don't know if he's... I think he has died at this point in time. But regardless, though, Marz still fighting for Charlie. Autens is going to go ahead and back up off that position. Looks like they're going to go ahead and bunker up on this stern. As Marz is going to take that 2-1 hill advantage once again. Now, what's the gameplay here? What does Carnage do? Like, how do they break out from this? I mean, Marz is all over the map, and they're wolfpacking together. Every fight you get into, it's like a 3v2, and BGod is going to take that advanced position, trusting in Solar to have that Lancer fire, but, I mean, he goes into the blender into 3 members from Marz. I don't know what the game plan was there.
It was a singular push. It was not together. This is what I was talking about, where you saw a team in our first matchup with Rated R where nobody had faith in the call. It was, I mean, the game, even if the game plan is handed off straight up the middle with your running back, everybody better be pushing their butt off to try to get that running back a gap to try to take it upfield and into the end zone. Right here, what you're seeing is somebody calls the handoff to the running back, and one lineman is playing for pass or playing for rush blocking. Everybody else, they're playing pass blocking. They're trying to set up a pocket. They don't know what the hell is going on. They don't know up from down, left from right, left from white, red from yellow. They are finding themselves in bad spots, and they found a retro charge. Rocky found one.
Oh my gosh, Rocky!
Same thing for you. Hit me up on Twitter. That's $5 in the bank, baby. You get a retro charge. Hit me up. He even stopped, so I think he might have heard me. Oh God.
If that doesn't tell you how this series is going, man, I don't know what does. I shouldn't say series. That Asylum was still relatively close, 5-3, but Harbor coming into it, we knew it was going to be a sore spot. Just every fight, every single fight Marz gets into, they're just so confident. And you're never going into a 1v1, a 1v2. You're going into a 1v3 literally every single time. You even go back to BGod when he was challenging on the Bravo. He went into a 1v3 willingly and just absolutely got taken down. Marz up 4-0. More importantly, from last week to this week in Harbor, they are up 9-0 on Harbor versus Carnage Gaming. Again, Asylum, that was kind of the breaking point. That was a must-win for Carnage Gaming, and we can see why.
Without a doubt. I mean, 4-0, 9 rounds in a row on Harbor that you've lost, and this would be 7-2-4. That's 6 rounds in a row that you've lost overall, because they won Marz won back-to-back rounds to shut down map number 1. It's a really, really telling stat line how dominant Marz has been on Harbor and how dominant they've been 6 rounds in a row. They don't seem like they have broken a sweat in the last 6 rounds. They keep winning fights. They keep putting pressure on Carnage throughout the entire map, and it's just constant pressure. They've got a wound, and they're just sprinkling salt into it everywhere you turn.
They will fall.
All right, shocks are down. Carnage Gaming doesn't even want anything center line because, again, those fights, I mean, it's a 50-50. It's a coin toss on E. Carnage wins some, they lose some on the initials. Shock is going to be down. Abolics, don't touch it. You'll be dropping very soon. But Rocky's down. He's going to get that pickup. Abolics will also get the pickup too. Good chain revives. That advantage they had with the Lancer is now gone. Abolics, though, at the forefront. He's going to drop off. Cristalize trying to pick up a couple. Rocky is going to be there for the trade. He also gets the second and the dance, the love, letting them know. Player 4 now, Solar. And mind you, Solar is taking this position down low versus Zoom. At first it was Autens. Now I'm curious, did they switch that up because Autens just wasn't making it count? Like, that's my question. Are they making audibles mid-game because it's like, look, it's just not working out with you. It's a bit mean to say, but and I hate putting players on blast like that, but I'll let you, if you want to touch on that, you can. If not, I'll let it go. But it looks like this might be it. Marz, they're going to win this 5-0, and that's just a tough loss for CG.
You've got to try everything and anything to win these rounds. You can't just keep losing rounds when you're trying to find the correct formula to get into the Pro League, to win that relegation tournament here in a few weeks. You've got to start to figure it out. If Autens is not doing it, you've got to make the mid-game audible. If somebody else isn't getting the job done, you've got to eventually figure it out. You got to figure out who's going to be down there to be able to take that fight. Because right now, the only thing you're taking if you are Carnage Gaming is an L. It's a vertical line connected to a horizontal line. And Marz is, they're taking home a dub because that's a 5-0 on map number 2, and that's a 2-0.
Yeah. Well, that's and a better performance, Colin, from last week, right? He gets the other way, man. There you go.
Hey, I'm from down south, boy. All right. Sometimes we little illiterate down here. All right.
I know you're not illiterate, man. Sensational, titillating. I don't even know what you say.
Just because I know how to say it, don't mean I know how to spell it or what it means, baby. That's all you got to know.
I know you're the smartest guy out here, Colin. You can't fool anybody, even with that country draw. Regardless, though, for Carnage Gaming, it's tough, man. They got to go back to the drawing board, much like Rated R has to go back to the drawing board. These are two teams that put up a great fight last week. This week, not even a challenge, because last week between Carnage Gaming and Marz, it went to map 3. Granted, Harbor was the same. It was a 5-0 both weeks in a row, but at least it went to map 3. This week, not even close. 10-3 overall round count. And that's just the way it goes, right? We're going to see dominant teams come through. You set that narrative in the beginning, Colin. You said, look, you're getting excited because you are starting to see some teams start to really come into their own. We're really seeing who has a very real chance to be a Pro League. Marz, I don't know if it's too close to say Immortals at this point, but there are certain teams that you can look at them, you can see the way they play, and you can say, you know what? That could be a pro caliber team.
They can. The thing that's going to start to stand out to me, that's going to prove to me whether Marz or a team, I mean, even if we go to the other side of the map and we see an Immortals, we see a Rated R, the things that always let me know if you're ready and if you are a pro caliber team is your Lancer Fire, is your teamwork. Marz, for the last 2 weeks, have proven that round in and round out that they understand rotations, they understand getting around the map and helping each other out.